So this week I want to break down a healthy relationship versus a relationship with a narcissist, because I want you to be able to really pick some of these things out. If you have dated or married a narcissist, you might actually, remember some of these things you experienced in different ways. And so I want to kind of break this down. It's going to be a little bit of a long video, but I think that it's worth it. I think that it's really worth it for you. And just to be able to know exactly, like, healthy-wise what you're after and what that looks like. And if you're dating a narcissist and a toxic relationship, what they do, what the red flags that they do, okay? So let's start first with the dating. Okay, so dating is going to be a fairy tale with a narcissist. In the very beginning, they will probably really plan out your date. It may not be super fancy off the top right away, but it's going to be very planned. It's going to be very romantic. And you will run into this person and you will be, if you don't realize that they're putting on a show, you don't realize that this fairy tale really is not reality, it's very easy to get swept off your feet. They will say the right things, do the right things, and what you have to look for is how they treat people that are around you. So they're either going to, because they're manipulators, so they're either going to be amazingly nice, over the top nice to somebody that is in the restaurant where you think they actually know each other and they're that nice to that person, or they're going to be really super rude. So those are some things you can look for. And the relationship will start out where they're just going to give you tons of attention off the bat, and then they're going to disappear for like a week. That's going to be like your first red flag, aside from them saying things like, I never saw that, said that, that was you, those type of things. I mean, I've had conversations like that sooner, like when I first met somebody, versus waiting it out for me to, for them to disappear. So because narcissists always do the silent treatment, so they will give, and then they're going to disappear. I think that a lot of times people talk about ghosting, and it is, ghosting, like, people like will disappear and then you'll never hear from them. And then I heard a girl say the term benching, where they just come and go as you please. But here's another one for you, is the narcissist, who totally just, showers you with everything you could possibly want in a fairy tale, and then will disappear for a week and withdraw, because it's a form of control, okay? And it's a form of power. A healthy date is going to be very ordinary, very comfortable. They're not going to be going over and above to impress you. Now, that doesn't mean someone's not going to dress up nice for you, or it doesn't necessarily mean that you don't go to someplace nice for the first date. Generally, I would think that, going for coffee and keeping it low key. I've noticed that if I've gone out with somebody that is a narcissist, if I start at someplace like that is a coffee place or something, and it's just casual, we're just having conversation and connecting, they will always try to turn it into something extravagant. So that's a red flag, because if they can't impress you with who they are on the inside, and they're not about connecting on the inside, they need all the external bells and whistles to impress you in their mind. And sometimes, I had one guy that actually said that to me, verbalized it, and he was like, I can turn on the charm. And he thought in his mind relationships was all about all his charm that he just turns on, So you can listen for some of this stuff and kind of be watchful. Let's go farther down the line. You've been dating for a while, and the narcissist is going to give you time. They're going to give you tons of presents, especially if there's like, a holiday or something like that, because everything is about appearances. They will be taking you on extravagant vacations oftentimes. They'll be taking you out to dinner, and it is going to be a fairy tale. You will feel like you're in a fairy tale. It is too good to be true. You also want to watch, they may be really bad at driving, aggressive, listen to the things they say about other people. Do they put people down that are in your life? Do you have a social circle and they put those people down? Do they try to get you away from that social circle? You'll also notice that when you are out on a date with them, they're going to space out. They're going to not listen to you. They're not going to want to be connecting with you. They are going to be, thinking of something else. You're constantly going to be wanting to be like, what's on your mind? What are you thinking? Because they kind of just like disappear and they do not listen to you. So always make sure that the person you're with is listening to you. You have great communication and it goes both ways. And also that, if you mention something, that they remember it, especially if it's super meaningful and it has to do with, something you need compassion around, because narcissists don't have compassion. So a healthy relationship is going to be a soft place to fall. It's going to be very ordinary. You're going to be connected emotionally, and it's going to be based on caring about the other person. Two independent individuals choosing to spend time together, choosing to do life together, and just connecting on a deeper level. You might go to a restaurant, but you might just hang out at home and spend time alone. It's not going to be based off of all the extravagant external stuff. It's going to be all about your guys' connection. And they're going to be perfectly fine if it's private and not shared all over social media. And I would say that that's another red flag too. If you see, if you're with somebody and they just want to post absolutely everything about your relationship and how wonderful it is to get external praise, that might be a red flag. And, because relationships are personal, relationships are private, and they should be kept private. Let's talk about arguments. Narcissists insult you and they accuse you. Healthy people don't do that to other people. So you will never be around a person that comes to you and accuses you and attacks you and insults you and then be healthy. That doesn't exist. So whether this is a romantic relationship or not, you run into somebody that, is at you like this, they are not healthy. A healthy argument is that there are no insults, there's no attacks, there's no blackmail. You may even just decide to let the argument go and you're going to resolve it, because your relationship with that person is more important than the argument. And so it's not going to be like this drama and, all this kind of stuff. There's not going to be slamming of cupboards. There's not going to be the silent treatment. There's not going to be verbal attacks. You may go through some nagging and things of, oh, I've been asking if you do take the garbage out and now it's week 3 and you haven't, But at the end of the day, right, what is it about? Sacrifice, compromise, creating some deals. Hey, I know you hate taking this out, but I'll do something for you if you'll do something for me. There's that compromise, where narcissist relationship is just going to be insults and attacks. And let's talk about events. So if you go to an event, let's say you won an award and you are like amazing at what you do for a living, and you are on a date with somebody that's a narcissist and you want to take them. Let's say you're going to get this award, you're going to be celebrated. They will not be happy. And they may throw a fit, they may, be crabby, they may be nasty to people. They're not going to be enjoying it. So you're going to notice this, and they're not going to want you to be in the spotlight. They may even give you some digs of, well, your award wasn't that important or whatever it may be. So just remember that, and if they can't take the credit, that they're not going to care. You actually go to an event that's about them, then it's, you're probably going to be completely forgotten about at this point. So just keep that in mind. A healthy relationship is going to be where you're going to be proud of that person, you're going to support them, they're going to be able to go off and do their own thing. If they need to talk to people, have fun with people, celebrate whatever it is, let them enjoy the moment that they're in, and you encourage them. So you're going to be able to, a healthy person is going to be able to encourage the other person to, go after something that maybe they don't feel like they can go after, or whatever it is that their dreams are. They're going to be 100% supportive of it. Where in a narcissistic relationship, it's all about them, and they're only going to be interested in something you're doing if they think that they can benefit from it personally. So let's talk about living with a narcissist. If you live with a narcissist, you move in with a narcissist, it's going to be more like, how can we carve out a tiny space for you to live? And they're going to be very controlling about everything, where everything is, and all of that, right? Versus two people coming together and habitating together and creating a home together. If two people came together and lived together. They can communicate about their needs. They can communicate how they want to decorate. They can compromise. But the narcissist, it's their way or the highway. You will most likely, I remember a friend of mine that was married a narcissist, and she, when she moved in, he literally, the only space that he gave her was this little tiny spot in the closet that was like 2 feet. And it was a gigantic house. So that's a perfect example. Here's your little square. And it's not two people coming together and creating a life, right? And then if you were to marry a narcissist, it's going to be an event, and it's all going to be a big show, all of that kind of stuff, extravagant. Most likely there's going to be a lot of money involved. If there isn't, it's still going to in some way make them shine, right? Make them look amazing. And it's more about appearances than it is about anyone else. So in a healthy relationship, if you were to, get married, it is less about everything being perfect. If things aren't perfect, well, then that's fine. If their flower arrangements got messed up, or things aren't so beautiful, or whatever it is, who cares? What really matters are the people that are involved. The friends, the family, that everyone's happy and everyone's celebrating and enjoying themselves and having a great time, and that you have this celebration going on. Whereas a narcissist type of marriage is going to be stressful, all about appearances, everything's got to be perfect, and some of these bridezilla things that you see that go on. And it's not that you can't have a big wedding and have all of that kind of stuff. It's just that the difference is one is a total show, everything's got to be perfect, and it's more about that, and it's more about the performance than it is about the depth, the meaning, the connections with other people. Are people enjoying themselves? All of that kind of stuff. If you have a wedding party, they're gonna love being part of it. They're not going to, be all stressed out and all of that kind of stuff. So those are kind of the differences in weddings. So let's talk about breakups. With a healthy person, after you break up with them, because we all know that not all relationships last for whatever reason, but you will feel like you grew as a person, that you are a better person because you were in a relationship with that person. You will not feel confused at all. You will just feel like you grew, and you will be able to move on. And as a better person, and one that has, learned from another human being and grown with another human being. A toxic dating relationship with a narcissist, you're going to end up confused. Your self-esteem will go through the floor. You will feel less than. You will not know what happened. You'll be confused. It will take you months or even years to get over it. And the narcissist is either going to, really come after you and try to get you back in that relationship and be, and upset that they lost you, or they're going to get into a relationship immediately. And they'll start love bombing somebody else. And that's how they deal with breakups. And they'll just, instantly they're in this relationship. So those are kind of the differences between a toxic relationship and a healthy relationship. You can see the healthy relationship is all based off of connection, human interaction, emotional connection, meaningful interactions with people, and it's not about external stuff. It's all about the internal stuff and the more meaningful things of life, versus everything being a performance, everything being about the external, everything being about how amazing something can look or appear on the outside. And there's going to be a lack of compassion and empathy there for the person that they're in a relationship with. And generally that's where, the toxic relationship, where the narcissist needs so much to be admired and praised and all of this, and needs people to be given to them and serving them all the time. If you are somebody that's codependent and you overgive, you're going to be sucked right in that, because you're like, wow, somebody that needs me to give to them, and they love it. And that's where that toxic type of relationship ends up. So hopefully this has helped you guys and helps you to, make better choices with your relationships. Again, I have that relationship healthy relationship workbook. I'll link down below that will really help you to analyze your relationships to make sure that you are in a healthy relationship. Guys, thank you so much for subscribing to my YouTube channel, and we'll see you next week.